right, good morning, and welcome to Hannover Messe 2024 and the AWS booth. We are super excited to be here and to be here with all of you customers and showcase some of the ways that we are simplifying digital transformation on behalf of our customers. My name is Joe Rosing, and I lead our go-to-market scaling strategy within the Automotive and Manufacturing Business Unit at AWS. And today I'm going to walk through just our high-level approach for digital transformation and some of the things that you're going to find in the booth this week. All right, now we've heard from industrial customers like yourself that digital transformation, when executed well, achieves an outsized impact on key performance indicators. And you see some of those listed here. So we've seen energy reductions up to 10%. We've seen improvements to OEE, overall equipment effectiveness, by over 15%. We've seen improvements in on-time and full compliance up to 10%. And we've also seen an increase of around 20% in time to market through some of the engineering workloads. So what we've found, though, with industrial leaders is that while we can have success with these individual use cases, really what accelerates that success is underpinning them with an industrial data strategy that really enables then that data-driven innovation. And we've referred to this as an industrial data fabric, which you'll again see around the booth here this week. But digital transformation doesn't happen overnight. There are very real and very unique challenges in the industrial space that at AWS we're working with our customers to help resolve. So first and foremost is getting access to the data and then integrating those data sets both from legacy and modern data sources. Once you start getting access to that data, you kind of create a second problem for yourself. And that is, how do you contextualize and how do you store or organize this increasing volume and complexity and diversity of data? And then you're not going to get value by data alone. You're going to get value by integrating insights from that data into your workflows. And so you got to think about how do you make that integration automatic in a way that it's really going to deliver the right insight to the right person at the right time to make better decisions faster. And then finally, as you have success with some of those initial use cases, you need to scale those use cases successfully, oftentimes across a global footprint. And so the challenge of doing that from an infrastructure standpoint are some of the things that cloud in particular helps enable. And across this journey, of course, security remains job zero, so that in everything that we're doing, we're making sure that we are protecting your data and your intellectual property. Now at AWS, our mission is to really help you tackle these challenges through adoption of new technologies. And so we help you do that by first helping you form the future state. What is that future vision of a digitally transformed state for your business? And then we help you execute that vision at speed by using purpose-built industrial services and solutions. And we collaborate directly with you on working backwards from your unique requirements, along with our best-in-class partners around the world to help scale success. And so today what we're going to talk about is a little bit of what that working backwards process looks like from an Amazon standpoint, as well as then some of the partners and solutions that help to enable it. And I start here with the slide of the Amazon retail flywheel. This is an example of a mental model that we use at Amazon and actually originated with Jeff Bezos thinking about how he was going to drive the strategy for Amazon. And at the center, we think about growth. And we make this customer obsessed and think about what is the customer going to need? What are the durable needs of that customer? And we think about building that strategy then from a retail standpoint. It was all about providing increasing amounts of selection, a better customer experience that led to more traffic on the website, that led to more sellers on the website, that ultimately kept spinning the flywheel and driving increasing amounts of selection. And that growth then allowed Amazon.com to lower their infrastructure costs and lower their prices, which were key enablers for the Amazon retail strategy. Now, within AWS, we take that similar flywheel approach to our industrial customers. And we work with you directly and think about how are we going to help you drive profitable growth for your business through digital transformation. In the industrial world, when we think about this, the durable needs or the things within our control, first and foremost include operational excellence. So what are the things that you can do inside the four walls of your factory to improve things like quality yield, improve your overall equipment effectiveness? Another example might be to think about how you can improve your time to market. That's important for your customers because they want to have your new products and your new features to them in their hands as soon as possible. So how can we help you drive more of those engineering workloads that allow you to get those new designs into your customers' hands quickly? The third area might be around supply chain. So how do you improve the time to deliver of your product? Very few customers are going to ask for a product in a longer lead time. So how can we help you reduce those lead times through technology? And then a fourth domain that we'll work with you on is around customer experience. So how do we create a more connected, digitally enabled customer experience that allows you to have a better understanding of how your customers are using your product, as well as thinking about how that insight can help you improve your own engineering workflows and manufacturing processes. Now, this is kind of a high-level approach to just a general growth strategy. So what role does AWS really play in the digital capabilities? Well, the more that we can overlay then this strategy of the outcomes that you want to deliver for your customers with data and with digital insights, the faster we can help you spin this flywheel of growth. And so we first do that by giving you visibility to the digital thread. So visibility to the data that's being generated inside the four walls of the factory, within those engineering workflows, within your supply chain, data visibility into how your customers are using your products out in the field. But that data visibility isn't enough. We need to help you automate intelligence or automate insights off that data. And we can help you do that through a variety of AI and ML services that we'll talk to here in a little bit. And really what that helps enable then is a future of innovation that's driven by your data and your insights across your entire domain, be it, again, in the manufacturing plant, your engineering workflows, your supply chain, or with your customer experience. And at AWS, we help you deliver this through a core infrastructure that has proven to be delivering the most functionality by way of the volume of services that we have to meet a variety of different business requirements, as well as the most secure, and providing a reliable infrastructure that is really suited for the needs of the industrial world. We also have the largest industrial partner network that really, again, allows us to bring best-in-class or best-in-breed partners to the table to help execute those use cases faster. And we do all this from the perspective of our own operations. We operate our own fulfillment centers, and we drive innovations off of that operations and make them available to our customers through services like Amazon Monitron and Amazon Forecast. And so really, we're all about how we can help you enable that industrial transformation with data across multiple domains of your business. And we refer to those as engineering and design, supply chain, production and asset optimization, sustainability, and smart products and machines. And so as you have an opportunity this week to walk around the AWS booth, you'll see those themes throughout the different parts of the booth and specific solutions and partners within each of those boxes that help, again, drive this industrial transformation across your entire digital thread. And these aren't just pockets of use cases or pockets of functionality. We have best practices in terms of data patterns and a framework for how we architect this digital thread for you to allow you to have the most flexibility in terms of the analytics that you want to drive and really support innovation at scale by having the data strategy intact and ready for scaling across your global footprint. And so the way that I would read this chart is I'd actually start at the top and look at what are those use cases that we prioritize. So if we think back to the flywheel and we think what are the outcomes that we're prioritizing to drive our growth, that's what I'm going to list out first. And I'm going to work backwards from the requirements of those use cases, but also understand at the bottom layer, what is the existing infrastructure? What are the existing investments that you have made in your operational data and things like your manufacturing execution system or your ERP system? And then the role that AWS and our partners play is we connect the dots between the bottom and the top. And so we work backwards from those use cases that are typically analytics driven, and we want to provide a wide toolbox for you to pick the right tool for the job. So that whether it's advanced analytics, machine learning, purpose-built AI models, or generative AI capabilities, you can deploy the right analytic to get that outcome that you want. Any of those analytic tools at that analytic layer are going to want to pull data from a secure data repository. And that's what we have in the storage layer as a way to cost efficiently maintain that data or store that data and make it available for those analytics services. And then you got to get data into that storage layer and get it there in a contextualized state so that we have some commonality and some common practices around how we're managing the data catalog and managing across a global footprint where there's naturally going to be diversity because of the industrial world. And any time that we're deploying in the manufacturing world, we're almost always deploying in a hybrid architecture. And for us, what that means is it's a hybrid edge plus cloud architecture. And that's really what you see then at this last layer, at the ingest layer, is some of the edge capabilities that we have that help facilitate doing things like compute and storage at the edge and as part of this broader framework, cloud-based things higher level in the stack. So now let's touch a bit on generative AI, a key topic that you'll hear a lot about this week, I'm sure, and also a key investment area of AWS. What we find in the industrial world in particular is that there is a real challenge around a skills gap. And in fact, there are a number of different stats, but this is one that I like to use, that by 2030, there will be over 2 million jobs unfilled. So generative AI is not about automating our way out of existing jobs. It's actually trying to fill this, the skills gap is the real need that we're hearing from industrial customers around how can generative AI help me to do this. And some of the questions that we hear from customers around closing this gap is, for example, I have a 30-year veteran, but he's retiring soon. And I don't have a good way to take all of that person's tribal knowledge and pass it on to the next technicians. Or if I can't fill those technician roles, by the time I get them filled, that person might have already retired. And so I don't have anyone to transfer that knowledge anymore. Another example might be I have a 20+ attrition rate on the floor. And a huge cost for me is having to constantly be retraining operators to do a manual operation. I need some way to make that easier to get the new hires productive faster. So what we consistently get asked is, how can I ramp up these new worker skills? And how can I use AI or ML to do that? Generative AI might be the answer. And you'll see some examples of that throughout the booth today, of where generative AI is used as a way to either be a chatbot assistant to help navigate troubleshooting, for example, across troubleshooting guides and work instructions. You also might see it used as a way to just be generating insights as part of a given workflow. But it's not the only tool in the toolbox, as I mentioned before. So what becomes important is that you've built that data strategy using the industrial data fabric to make the data available for the best tool for the job. And as you work backwards, generative AI might be the answer, but you also might want to be leveraging a machine learning service. You might want to be doing advanced analytics. Deep learning might be a capability you want to use. And so with AWS, we really give you the flexibility to build that data strategy foundation and then pick the right tool for the job that's going to most cost efficiently solve for your outcome. Now, I'm not going to dive too much deeper into generative AI because actually the very next session will be Danny Smith, who's going to dive much deeper into some specific use cases and capabilities that AWS has to help close that skills gap with generative AI. And then you'll also see a few other sessions coming up on Thursday this week to dive deeper into some of those generative AI use cases. Now, I mentioned earlier that a key part of our strategy in helping our customers simplify digital transformation and accelerate those business outcomes is bringing partners to the table and integrating best-in-breed partners, some of whom you may already be working with, or some of whom that we want to be introducing to you as a way to just accelerate results. And the way that we think about that is we still keep the industrial data fabric at our core. Because again, this is that core data strategy that's really going to enable industrial transformation at scale and enable you to innovate faster. But then we have extensibility into key applications that are part of your environment. And you'll see some examples of that out in the show floor today. For example, how we can run Siemens Ops Center on an outpost. Right? So these are common applications that you're running in the industrial world, but we have integrated AWS services, or we've worked with the partners to actually build that application using AWS services. And then on top of that, there is a broad partner network, many of whom you'll see out here on the show floor this week, that bring best-in-class specializations to particular use cases. So they might provide a specific analytic user interface that works really well in the chemicals industry versus one that works really well for a welding inspection use case, for example. And so this broader partner network really allows us to bring the right partner to the job, to bring the best solution as quickly as possible, but still do it in a way that's integrated with that data strategy and your overall AWS environment. And so to give you a bit of lay of the land of how that's going to look this week at Hannover Messe, again, in our booth, if you haven't walked through it yet, we have it broken out into those different domains, such as production and asset optimization, supply chain, sustainability, product engineering. And then within each of those areas, we have some of those key best-of-breed partners that are also showcasing their solutions and how they're built on AWS as a way to accelerate those specific use case outcomes. And so with that, I want to thank you for joining us in the booth here this week at Hannover Messe. have a look at the schedule off in the back of the theater here for the additional sessions that are coming both throughout the rest of the day today as well as the rest of the week. Learning insights from AWS experts as well as a number of our partners who will be presenting on stage for their solutions. And if at any time you have any questions, please feel free to walk up to anyone with I took mine off, with an orange lanyard who's an AWS employee that will be happy to point you the right direction or get you into one of the proper demos to go showcase one of these solutions. So thank you for your time today. Again, thank you for joining us at Hannover Messe, and have a great week.